Imagine standing in a grocery store. You're looking at cereal. The person beside you is checking their phone. 10 years later, one of you becomes a murderer. The other doesn't. So what happened inside one mind that didn't happen inside the other? I'm Detective Cipher from the Classified Mind, and today we're investigating the most disturbing case of all, the human mind itself. The born evil narrative is one of the most persistent myths in criminal psychology. And it's wrong. Most killers aren't born, they're built. The brain doesn't arrive pre-wired for violence. It arrives with the same capacity for empathy you have, the same ability to feel guilt, the same understanding that other people matter, but somewhere along the way, something begins to corrode those natural barriers. Picture that person next to you in the grocery store again. They didn't wake up one morning deciding to kill. They marinated, they simmered in resentment that built over months, sometimes years. Maybe it started with rejection, a job they didn't get, a relationship that ended badly, a perceived humiliation that ate away at them. The mind began crafting a story where they were the victim, where the world owed them something. The brain is remarkably good at protecting us from our own darkness, but it's also terrifyingly good at rationalizing when those protections start to fail. Watch what happens. First, they start viewing certain people as less human. She had it coming. He deserved what he got. The moral boundaries that once seemed absolute begin to shift, just a little at first. Each rationalization makes the next one easier. Each small compromise of conscience paves the way for a larger one. Then comes the rehearsal phase. They don't just wake up one day and commit murder. They think about it. They plan it. They justify it. Each time they run through the scenario in their mind, it becomes a little more normal, a little more acceptable. The unthinkable slowly transforms into the inevitable. The brain stops rejecting the idea and starts preparing for it. The truly disturbing evidence is how ordinary this progression can look from the outside. No dramatic warning signs, no obvious red flags, just someone slowly convincing themselves that violence is not only justified, but necessary. And that's what separates the person who becomes a killer from the one who doesn't. Not a sudden snap, but a gradual erosion of the mental barriers that keep most of us from crossing that line. Now think about that person in the grocery store. After hearing about how these mental barriers slowly erode, do you think you recognize the warning signs if someone close to you started down this path? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because here's what makes this investigation truly haunting. Discovering what could pull someone back from that precipice. But here's what happens at the moment of truth. The final escalation isn't a cold, calculated decision. It's an emotional crescendo where logic completely breaks down. Grief, rage, shame, fear, combined with trauma, isolation, or abuse, create internal pressure that demands release. When the moment actually arrives, something primal takes over. Heart rate spikes, vision tunnels. The prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for rational decision-making, essentially goes offline. This is where the investigation takes its darkest turn. Because in that moment, the person genuinely believes they have no other choice. The narrative they've constructed has become their reality. They're not choosing to kill. In their mind, they're being forced to by circumstances beyond their control. The victim made them do it. Society left them no option. It's the final, devastating rationalization that transforms thought into action. Then comes the aftermath. And this is where the evidence gets truly chilling. Psychological reactions vary wildly. Some killers experience immediate relief, like a pressure valve finally releasing. Others feel nothing at all, a complete emotional numbness that can last for hours and days. Some panic, suddenly realizing the magnitude of what they've done. And a disturbing few feel excitement, a rush of power they've never experienced before. Many describe feeling surprised by their own actions, as if they were watching someone else commit the crime. The brain, having crossed that ultimate line, struggles to integrate what just happened with the sense of self. But here's the crucial evidence that separates those who kill from those who don't. The human brain is coded for compassion, for guilt, for a kind of empathic pain that causes suffering in the person inflicting harm that is, in many ways, as intense as what the victim experiences. Most people never lose these protective barriers. Their empathy remains intact. Their social connections keep them grounded. They develop healthy coping mechanisms for anger, rejection, and humiliation. When dark thoughts arise, they seek help, talk to friends, or find constructive outlets. The person who doesn't become a killer isn't fundamentally different. They just never allowed those mental barriers to erode completely. Hit subscribe for more deep dives into criminal minds. Then watch this next case. Until next time, keep your eyes on the evidence and your mind on the motive. Detective Cipher, signing off.